all right? And I'm the founder of the African Marketplace, and my colleagues here are part of our great team. So Ms. Evelyn Paul is the project director, and my sister here, Mrs. Tokumbo Ege, is the project strategic partner, and she's covering the French-speaking African countries for us from out of Togo. Now, what does the African marketplace represent? 90% of our productive sector in Africa is in SMEs. 80% of our jobs are produced by SMEs. The 90% of our productive sector, because of scale, does not have market access. Unlocking the productivity of Africa for us requires that we build market accessibility for the massive creativity that is going on within the productive sector of Africa. And therefore, we've decided that we're not waiting for the world to recognize that we have what it takes to compete on the global market. That we're going to take the products of Africa, the creativity of Africans, the innovativeness of Africans, the imagination of Africans, the colors of Africa, and all that we represent across the 1.4 billion people that are Africans, and is Africa plus Caribbean, because if you understand what the African Union has done, the Caribbean region has been recognized as the rest of Africa. So we're African descendants from around the world, and that's the vision, is to build a mother platform that represents a platform to use to carry the brands. On their own, they can't build that market because of size and scale. But if we build a combined, unified force, supported by the biggest development bank on our continent, which is Afrexim, supported by some of the largest commercial banks in our continent, like Access Bank, Wema Bank, and Eco Bank, and multiple other banks that are part of the consortium of sponsors and support for this project. Our goal is to build markets, go to international markets, and present what we know is a quality that the market at this point does not acknowledge is the kind of quality that comes out of Africa. Because we're coming from a disadvantaged position, we want the market to be able to touch, feel our products, see them, understand the quality of what we make. If you go around the fairs in the two halls, we've got the entire convention center of the Grand Hyatt Dubai. You will see that there's a lot of body care and cosmetic products. Why? The most organic products you will find in the world come from Africa, because everything is natural for us. If you take a store like Body Shop, it went global on the back of shea butter. Shea butter is only grown in West Africa. Now, what we don't do anymore is just sell our raw materials. What we're doing is our brilliant, smart Africans, male, female, are converting those products into usable formats, meeting international standards that we can sell to the rest of the world without chemical combinations and all of that in the way the world needs to have it. We have those products and they're well branded. So this exhibition covers multiple, we're industry agnostic, is across multiple industries. We're showing from fashion to beauty care to furniture to creativity in multiple areas to food and agro-allied industries to tech and other areas and services. And there's much more. Because this is the maiden edition, we've chosen a certain number of brands to represent our test of the market and a way for us to go forward. So what do we want from you? What do we want from them?
We want you to be able to amplify, help us amplify the story, because it's a story we're also telling with all of this, to let the world know that Africa is growing, Africa has good products, Africa is becoming a global brand and should be a part of the global trade conversation. We want that to happen with all of this that we're doing. So we want to change the narrative, because before now, Africa has been seen as a continent that needs help, that needs aid. We are more than that. We have trade. We have good quality products, and we're pushing this product and let the world know that Africa has arisen. Africa is no longer struggling. That's one of the things we want to do here, and we want the press to help us, that in the UAE area they can see that Africa is rising.
And for business matter, what about the procedure for export of item to the businessman here? Is it easy procedure, and what the features can give?
I think if you've been following a lot of developments on the continent, you would see that there is, like, we have the integrated market, the African Free Trade Zone, which shows you that we're removing barriers to trading amongst ourselves and across our countries. And for the export drive, the bottom line is, once we have the right product and the markets of the world are open to us, the logistics that is required will follow it. And already we do have a lot of logistic companies that are emerging, because as the digital platforms emerged and online trading emerged, there's a lot of development of new businesses providing the kind of logistical support that is required to be. We have DHL, we have FedEx, all of those operate on our continent as well, apart from homegrown solutions that are being provided by Africans. And we still have a lot of what you call business infrastructure that is under construction. But you know the thing that a lot of people miss about Africa? We're the youngest continent in the world right now. Over 70% of our population is under 40. That age group and the passion of entrepreneurship that Africans have is creating solutions for every problem that they see. So for every opportunity we pursue, the problems that limit it, the entrepreneurial Africans pick up those solutions and build it. And so there's a lot of work going on to enhance our position and to make us viable to play in the global market. What we're asking is a market that supports the opening of itself to us. We came to Dubai because we recognize Dubai as a global market with almost 200 nationalities within it, including Africans, but also a place that we believe is friendlier to supporting products from our region and a market that our people can access. But it doesn't matter if the market is open, if we don't come with the right products or they don't know what we have, we cannot benefit from it. So our move right now is tell the African story, show what Africa has, open the market of the world to African products, create this supportive structure to make sure that business is not just 10% of our productive sector, which is just the large corporates, can move, but that we can move that large block of 90% that represent our productive, a large portion of our productive sector, and release the creativity of Africa upon the world in a collaborative manner, that we give value, we take value, we support value. We're too many for anybody to ignore, and you want us to do well. If we do well, the rest of the world supports it. There will be no migration to the West if our people are comfortable at home and successful. So everybody benefits from us doing well in the way that we want it, apart from the fact that we're great at what we do, and we know that our people are smart. If they get the same equal opportunities to do what they need to do, they will do well. My sister is going to talk to you about it.
Do you have 1 second, please? Do you have your standard quality as African standard quality, or you are following the European or the others?
Okay, there's global standard of quality. See, the bottom line is customers know what they want, and there's standards in every market. And the reality is Africa can meet any of those standards that are required. And anyway, even the products that are produced in the Western world, so to speak, they follow different standards for different markets. There's a minimum standard, but I've been in manufacturing for 36 years, so I understand what it is that the field plays with. Depending on the required standard for each market, you can organize your production to meet it. Can we meet that? Yes, we can. Once we have the market acceptance, we have the right orders, knowing that for areas where we have comparative advantage, we also have the raw starting material that gives us the advantage. In many cases, we're going to mix products from our side with other materials from the rest of the world. That's how the world works. Yeah. But what we're saying is create a more equitable platform that allows the creativity of Africa to be adequately rewarded. Because if you do not tell the right stories, if all the story that is told about Africa in the world is children with dirt and flies on their face, or a woman with one tray of $5 wares on her head, then you misrepresent who Africans are. Yeah. They're smart, we're brilliant, we're educated, we're sharp. Yes, we also have poor people, but so what? Every country does. But all we're saying is we want to partake in global trade circles and be able to compete at a fair level, offering our skills, our creativity, not just in music, not just in sports. We're great at those things. We have great movie industry. You know, we have a movie world room here and on the other side where you can watch African production from various movie industries within Africa. That's because while the world was asleep, we were developing a very versatile
Especially you have all the resources.
we do, and because we've had to create. You know, the thing about African entrepreneurs is doing what we do despite our limitations. We have created amazing solutions, and that's what makes us innovative.
What are the potential demand do you see for African product, particularly in the GCC market?
Well, see, that one of the reasons why we're out here, telling our own story. That's one part of it. The other part of it is we want to hear what those who are visiting us are going to tell us. Because this is a work in progress. We're not saying we've reached the final end, but we have already something that is available, and a lot of times these things are misrepresented. So we're here to listen to visitors from the GCC countries as well. Tell us that, oh, okay, here we would rather have it this way. As long as it does not remove from the essence of what we're producing, we're happy to listen. As she said, different products, different levels, different standards for different people. It's a global thing. It's not something that Africa alone is doing. So this is one of the reasons why we're also here. We want to know what the GCC market needs so that we can see how what we have can respond to what they need. Because we know that there is something that we have that they need.
What are the main product category or the product you are going to on the platform?
Right now we have everything. We have fashion, we have music, we have agricultural products that have been transformed in different ways. We have technology. We have everything. And if you go around, you will see a bit of everything. So you will find people have brought furniture that have been made from wood that I'm almost certain you don't have in this part of the world. So that is already something that's a finished product. But at the same time, we have shea butter that people need for production and to be transformed into something else. Yesterday, someone was talking to us about cassava and saying, "Oh, do you have enough cassava? How can it get to us?" So we have cassava in different shapes and forms and sizes. So these are the kind of information that we need. So we're not just here to showcase what we have. We're also here to learn from what is needed that we can also produce.
And
so
what
we
we're showcasing, and what we're shocasing is not everything that
it's not everything that we have.
That's important. Okay, you know, we'd like to introduce the lead for the Afrexim Bank here right now, because this is a project. Afrexim is the largest development bank for Africa, and part of the project that they're doing as a critical partner of this project for us is how to build intra-African trade, Africa and the rest of the world export development. So I'd like him to talk to you as well about where they're coming from Afrexim, so you can understand we're building a coalition of right-thinking Africans and Caribbeans to move into the world to find the solution that we need for Africa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Woshika. As Madam said, our core mandate is to drive intra-African trade. And
To introduce yourself to them.
I probably should, first and foremost. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Odi Akanuba. I am Director for SME Development at Afrexim Bank. Afrexim Bank is a Pan-African development finance institution that mandated to drive intra-Africa trade and export development. Now, this platform is an amazing platform as far as helping us to achieve our export development objectives is concerned. Let me just contextualize that for you quickly. Right? I've just completed a tour of the exhibition, and I can tell you that almost every single product that I have seen here, I am confident will succeed in export markets, both within and outside of Africa. You know, I have seen cosmetic products that will sit very comfortably at Selfridges, at Harrods, at CVS, and so on and so forth, because they are of the right quality and they are of the right degree of packaging. So what this tells me is that these products exist in Africa. They are already being manufactured in Africa. there's already value add happening in Africa. These SMEs just need the right platforms and the right exposure to get them into these markets. And that is why this marketplace, the Africa Dubai marketplace, is much needed at this time. It's also obvious that the world is now more ready than ever before to consume Africa. Wherever you go, there's an Afrobeat song playing. There's no country you go to today that somebody's not watching a Nollywood movie. These are just examples. So Africa's time is now. The time to consume Africa is now. The time to produce Africa is now. So I applaud Mrs. Awoshika and her team for the initiative, and I have no doubt that this is the beginning of something extraordinary for the continent, especially for its SMEs.
Okay, for now, what we've chosen to do is to use Dubai as the hub for it, because it's logistically, it's more difficult to move from country to country. But we recognize that Dubai is a hub. It's a magnet hub. You can attract from the rest of the GCC into Dubai. But our vision is not just to use Dubai as a magnet for Dubai or GCC. Our vision is to use Dubai as the first global market port for the rest of the world to engage with African products and its quality. The reality is Dubai attracts people from all around the world.
The heart of the world.
Yes. So our vision, we appreciate what Dubai represents. We appreciate the value that it brings, and which is why we chose it as the location. And we know that from Dubai, we can reach the rest of the world. And when we use Dubai as our first testing ground to build, because you see, we've done this today, but we're not stopping today. Our vision is to have a permanent marketplace in Dubai for the African marketplace, so that you can continue to touch, feel, buy, and engage with African products for the long term. We'll also build digital platforms that allow you, but you see, digital platforms are useless if you don't already trust the product, which is why we're building we're going to have a physical platform for it. This for us is to get a feel, a feedback, a touch, let the world have a taste, because this is just, a drop of what exists in Africa. There are multiple African brands sitting at the levels you cannot even imagine, but no one fully understands and comprehends the value we have created as a continent. And now we're not waiting for people to say, oh, you have it. We're going to the world to show them what we have, so that we can get the value for our people that we deserve. We have a huge youthful population. We have a lot of jobs we must create. Do we have the tools to create it? Yes. Our SMEs, 90% productive sector, if you unleash it, you will create a lot of jobs and a lot of value. Our people will stay home, but they would stay home to add value, and we will be value addition to the rest of the world, because there is greatness within us, and we have all the raw materials that we need in most cases. And that's what we're doing with all the partnership and all the work that is going on.
What is the current contribution of SME sector to African economies? Can you say
Now,
something?
okay, so whilst do you want to give the data?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the answer to that varies by country,
Yes.
but it's anywhere between 80 and 90% for the continent. Actually, anywhere between 80 and 90%.
For productive sector.
Yes.
But you see, it depends. Are you asking for percentage of contribution in productivity or percentage in value? Because that now becomes two
Yeah.
different
So
things.
are you asking the GDP contribution?
Yes.
Or are you asking the number of SMEs versus other businesses?
How much SMEs are contributing
To the GDP.
GDPs of
It's less.
African countries?
It's somewhere between 40 and 50% as per GDP contribution. But in terms of the
On the
volume,
average.
on average per country, but in terms of volumes, SMEs absolutely dominate
It's about
the
90%.
African continent. It's
Between
probably
80
about
and
90%.
90, depending on the country.
Where is the Chamber of Commerce?
Every country has its own chamber of commerce, and some cities even have their chamber of commerce, and they're part of the value chain.
They're supporting all the.
They're supporting. I mean, we can't do what we do independently. So there's a whole value chain that led to this,
Okay.
which means you have the chambers of commerces, they have their role, but you have governments, you also have associations for productive groups, and they're also what you call new generation associations, because you have at the fair itself here, you have like sector groups, innovative entrepreneurs themselves, creating models that's helping to push the SMEs. Like my friend has a model that she does in Nigeria that is called Fashion Souk. Fashion Souk holds an event 3 times in a year. What do? They bring about 200 fashion entrepreneurs out, gather them in an event over a weekend. So everybody comes in to see what is available and people shop. It helps those people to gain confidence and improve their productivity and all of that. Somebody else has things like here, you have that young lady there. She does the Lagos Leather Fair. That is Lagos. They're using leather. Now, Nigeria has been producing the leather that feeds most of the luxury leather product line in Europe for many, many years. But we've never gotten credit for it. You know how they say Intel inside? We should actually have Nigerian leather inside for most of the big brands, but we don't. So it's part of the storytelling that we want to get. In Togo, my friend has a business that is called Togo Mall. They have 134 Togo entrepreneurs within one building. Selling is like a huge store that only sells products made in Togo. So there are different sort of new models outside of even the chambers of commerce emerging as a way to organize the African entrepreneur. And for us to do this, what we did was to try to create a collaborative network of different groups like that, industry-based or country-based, so that we can work together to build this vision that we have. And that's how we're going to work.
This African market, you are just only promoting the SME sector, or you are supporting financially SMEs also?
We're doing everything. You see, that's why you have Afrexim sitting here. If you look around, you will find multiple commercial banks that are here. You know the role the commercial banks are doing here? We ask the commercial banks to nominate SMEs within their portfolio that they feel are export ready. Now, the reason they can nominate them is they're already SMEs that they bank and that they support, okay? And there are multiple government infrastructure and private sector led or also investment models that's supporting the emergence of SMEs into bigger markets. Do we need a lot more? Like crazy. We need like 1,000,000% more of it. Are we moving in the right direction? Yes. Do we still have a lot of work to do? Absolutely yes. But guess what? The more, if we release 1,000 SMEs successfully, the next 1,000 would be in line, because we're a very entrepreneurial continent. And that's what we're trying to do, to create the resources and infrastructure to make sure that we can get the SMEs to the scale and the level that they need. And the kind of financial models that will help them is part of the solution, part of his work. We did the opening 3 days ago. He hasn't left 2 days ago, yes, because they're engaging, getting data, getting information that helps to make the right products, to continue to build the right products to support the SME sector for the work that we're doing. Thank you.
How you can face the competition? By quality, by prices, or
Yes,
by
we
both?
can. Wait. You know, the problem is there's always an assumption when it comes to Africa, which is why for us, the storytelling is key. People, once they think of Africa, they conclude by perception rather than by reality. So what we're saying is, why have we come? It's so you can see the reality. See some of the products and like, we've had a lot of people ask the question, are you sure this was made in your country? You know, they ask, because there are multiple countries here. And then they say, yes, it is. An African woman does not need to buy one thing from anywhere else if she doesn't want to. And she'll be excellently and joyfully dressed and elegantly dressed in quality product, all made.
And well fed.
And well fed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.